Hi, I'm welcome to Terry Talks Movies, and this time around I've got the October spooky season releases from Umbrella Entertainment. And these releases are like a Christian massage parlor. Nobody gets a happy ending. So we've got 5 things here to take a look at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5. And let's get started. First one is a horror comedy anthology movie from 2012, an American one, which I don't know anything about, but it sounds really good. The ABCs of Death. This collector's edition is a limited release of 800, and it's got an interesting premise. It's 26 different short films made by 26 filmmakers all across the world. There's even an Australian in there. They're all looking at a different letter of the alphabet. As you can see there, A is for axe, etc. I've got the card on the back, and I'm going to pause the card so you can see the special features, because there are a shit ton of special features here. And the slipcase artwork is by Casper Williams, and it's just fantastic. Really interesting stuff. So basically, each letter of the alphabet gets one short movie made by different filmmakers. People like Ben Wheatley are in there, Lee Hardcastle, Ty West, Angela Bettis. Lots and lots of different filmmakers telling different stories. There's animated stuff, there's claymation, there's live action. Lots of different formats. And it's a very hard thing to do comedy horror. But this one I'm going to watch before spooky season ends. And it looks really interesting. But you get another slipcase there. That one. And this, which says it's not educational. It's almost formatted like a children's book, and I like that. Inside, alternative artwork there. Alternative artwork there. And we get the reversible cover to get rid of the R rating. What's the R rating for? High impact sexual themes, violence, and nudity. I'm happy. Inside we get the disc. But we get something else too. Actually, we get a little bit more. We get the illustrations by Casper Williams, which are done in the format of a colouring book. Which is very cool, which is very cool and cute. And we also get a book of essays about the film The ABCs of Death by Ant and Tim. Who's who in The ABCs of Death? These filmmakers know their alphabet by David Michael Brown. So each of the filmmakers gets a little bit of a blurb in there. Brief history of anthology movies. We get that as well, which is great because anthology horror films have always hit for me. And that's by Jim Morton. Nursery Crimes, Alphabets of Punishment and Subversion by Gavin Baddeley. And some credits. So a very nice package, that one. And it sounds like it's a very messed up movie. I've read through some of the premises of some of the episodes, and there's some deeply messed up stuff in this movie, which for some people is going to be an attraction, for other people it may put them off. But I very much like the fact that a movie like this, which is not at the forefront of everyone's mind when they think anthology horror films, is getting a bit of love. So that's the first one. And in spite of the fact that it is all short films, it only runs 124 minutes, so it's slightly over 2 hours. But I'm very intrigued by this one, and I will check it out. Next one is an Australian shark movie from 2010, directed by Andrew Traki, who also did one of the episodes in this, about a bunch of people, a shark, their shipwrecked, their boat sunk, and the sharks trying to get them off the coast of Indonesia. It's called Reef. Now, a middle-aged geek girl loves shark movies. It's almost her favorite genre. And this one does an interesting thing because it doesn't use robot sharks or CGI sharks. It uses real sharks because it's cheaper, I suppose, to use a real shark than to make one in a computer or out of Meccano. There's the front cover of it. One bite is all it takes. which sounds like a chocolate ad, but I'm pretty sure in this context it isn't. There's the end bit. This one's a limited edition of 750. It's got an audio commentary with the director, moderated by journalist David Michael Brown, interview with actor Guyton Grantley, interview with actor Adrienne Pickling, a shark's tale, Laurent Auclair on the Reef, shooting with sharks, making of the Reef, behind the scenes, stills, gallery, and trailer. So all of that's on there. We also get some picture cards because we often do. Not the best way you want to go looking for a shark. Here's your Noah. Actually, these two go together. Not quite. So there's a shark picture, there's a shark picture. There's a bit of live action with the real shark. Real shark. Close-up of real shark. I mean, sharks don't particularly worry me. I mean, I grew up on the beaches of Sydney, and there were shark bells on every beach, and when somebody spotted a shark, they'd ring the bell. A shark. They'd ring the bell, and everybody would get out of the water. And that was just the thing we did. It was like dodging traffic. And nobody I know ever got eaten by a shark, so I'm pretty sanguine with sharks. There's a behind-the-scenes experience as an art booklet with this one as well. I will show you the discs. Or the disc. Interview with Andrew Traki by Travis Johnson. Final Girl, Scream Queen Zoe Naylor discusses the terrors of the Reef by David Michael Brown. There's your ensemble. Swimming with Sharks from Jaws to Sharknado to the Reef. There's an essay there. They must have gone through a lot of sunblock making this movie. Doesn't say who that's written by. Let me just see if I can find out. Anthony O'Connor. And there's a poster gallery in there as well. Then we get to the movie itself. There is the slipcover. And on a place, it says, lovely place to visit, ugly way to die. I feel the same way about the Gold Coast. Inside, we get alternative artwork there. This is Region B, by the way. And it's M for violence and coarse language. So they're considering people getting eviscerated by sharks to be violence, and they're concerned about the coarse language. If I'm getting attacked by a shark, you're going to hear some coarse language. ABCs of Death is also Region B. By the way, if you hear noise in the background, there's a lot of wind out at the moment, not just from me. The weather has got very windy at the moment. But anyway, I'll put that all the way around. There's the Reef. If you like shark movies, you're going to go with that one. Next up, we have the second of the new Extremity collections from Umbrella. And these movies are not for the faint at heart. Believe me, they are extreme horror and quite confronting. This one's a limited edition of 2,500. It is Region B. There's the box. It follows up on the new Extremities collection, Volume 1. Gives you a bit of an idea about what you're going to be in for. Just slip these out. I'll read you the special features, but I will show them up on the screen. Audio commentaries with cast and crew. Critical audio commentaries by Lee Zachariah, Paul Anthony Nelson, Kat Ellinger, Martin Tinterio, Stephen A. Russell. Critical featurettes by Guy Davis, Zoe Rose Smith, Nadine Whitney, Willow McClay, and Tom Battelle, and Martin Tinterio. Interviews with directors, cast and crew members, archival making-of featurettes, deleted and alternative scenes, behind the scenes and trailer. Custom artworks by Chris Melbourne, aka Melbs. Let me see whether I can show you some of this stuff. I promise you do the movies first. We'll do the movies first. First one is 29 Palms, which is very, very weird. I've seen part of it. I haven't seen all of it yet. It's a French film, but it's made in America. There's the back. I've got to be careful with these because I'm not sure whether there's any very transgressive stuff in them. directed by Bruno Dumont. In My Skin, and the artwork there gives you a bit of an idea about that one. A film to truly get under your skin. Marina Devan's In My Skin is a powerful, shocking rumination on the connection to one's own body and life as a woman. And it's got body horror galore in it, this one. There it is there. Inside, we get the protagonist there and the disc. And in 29 Palms, I can't show you the inside of that because it's got a lady holding a gentleman's parts on it. But I can show you the disc. Thanks, Umbrella. We got Catherine Breillat's Fat Girl, which is a very, very, very transgressive movie. And inside, we get the sister of the titular Fat Girl. And we get a poster, which I haven't seen yet. It's a poster for Fat Girl. And on the back, we have some more of Mel's artwork there. And we have the art cards and a booklet as well, or actually a book. The last one is Doberman, which stars Vanessa Cassell and Monica Bellucci, about a criminal, very extreme horror stuff. There's the back. We have another poster. There is the girlfriend played by Monica Bellucci. And inside, we have a poster for 29 Palms and the artwork for Doberman. Then we'll get to the art cards. There's Vanessa Cassell. It's another one from Doberman. From In My Skin. In My Skin again. Fat Girl. Fat Girl. 29 Palms, which uses the landscapes beautifully, that fall. And another one from 29 Palms. Part of which is in colour, part of which is in black and white. Then we have New Extremity Volume 2, Behind the Scenes Experiences, Essays and Art. Now, I've got to be careful here because there's some I'm not going to show that. Bullets as Prayers, which is an essay by Matt Konopka. Notes on Watching Catherine Breillat's Fat Girl by Jack Sargent. Dancing with Myself, an artistic dissection of In My Skin by Emma Westwood. Fine Young Cannibals, Trouble Every Day and In My Skin by Alexandra West. Bruno Dumont's Desert Death Ride by Martin Conterio. Lovers in a Dangerous Time. Criminal Lovers and 29 Powers by Alexandra West. And there are posters for all the movies. So a rock solid collection here, following up on the first one, which was full of incredible transgressive movies, including Martyrs, which is just a movie that haunts me to this day. And there it is again. I'll leave the 4K for last. One cuckoo in the nest in this month's selection. It's a Japanese crime film from 1979, so you know it's good. And one of the co-stars in it is Sonny Chiba, so you know it's even better. It's The Resurrection of the Golden Wolf. This is a limited edition of about 750. And it's about a corporate salaryman who by night has a side hustle as a criminal assassin. Nice premise. Special features an interview with director Toru Murakawa, corporate fantasy and masculine identity in The Resurrection of the Golden Wolf by Robert Edwards, a TV spot and a trailer. There's the card there. There's a groovy front album. That is Shriek's 1979, doesn't it? And there's the back. I'm so big on Showa-era Japanese crime films, and the Showa-era movies is from Japan anyway. There's some great alternative artwork there. Love that. Inside, we get the case. Nicely posed photograph, that one. Again, this is Region B. There's the back. And inside, we get a poster. We get a flip cover to remove the censorship classification. This is medium level violence, medium level sex scenes. Not bad at all. Let's clock the poster. I haven't seen the poster. You get that artwork on the poster on one side, and you get that beautifully drawn artwork on the other side. Who is that artwork by? I've just got to grab the case and tell you because it's worth noting. The artwork here is by Colin Murdoch. Just fantastic stuff. Love that kind of stuff. We also get some art cards. Beautiful use of shadow there. Like the way that's posed. You get that one again for the third time. And finally, I don't know that I've ever seen a bad Japanese crime movie. I don't know why, but I don't think I've ever seen a bad Japanese crime movie. Let me know if you have, because for me, everyone I've seen, from high and low down to this one, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm looking forward to, they just hit in a totally different way. And with locations, it's like a documentary about where the locations are. Japanese crime movies are just fantastically good. Here's a behind-the-scenes essays and art. So we get a booklet there. Golden Wolf Wild Legacy by Patrick Macias. Resurrection of the Golden Wolf by Mark Schilling. So you get another essay there. You get a bunch of stills and artwork from the movie. This one is just so random in a sense. It's one of those movies that few people, apart from people who are very into Japanese cinema, know about. And then suddenly the movie gets a respected release from Umbrella Entertainment. And I'm there for that. I just love the way Umbrella finds these things and then just delivers them to us. So that's your fourth one. This one's a 1983 serial killer movie from Austria, which people say is more extreme than Henry Portrait of the Serial Killer. And it makes the audience complicit in what this guy is doing. This one's a limited edition of 2,500, and it's called Angst. It's directed by Gerald Cargill, and it stars Erwin Leder as the titular serial killer, as the serial killer. And it's kind of extreme. In fact, it's very extreme. Special features, I'll read through these ones. Audio commentary with the director Gerald Cargill. Audio commentary with critics Kat Ellinger and Martin Conterio. Post-screening Q&A with the director and actor Erwin Leder. Fear 40 years later. Interview with actor Erwin Leder, or Leder, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Through the Eyes of a Killer. Interview with cinematographer Zbigniew Rybinski. Wars That Saw Everything. Angst Locations featurette. Killer POV. Lindsay Hallam on the cinematography of Angst. Angst Through the Ages. Nate Roscoe on the chokehold of the serial killer on 20th Century Cinema, and a trailer. This one, of course, is in 4K, so region coding doesn't really matter. There, of course, is the front of the box. There's the back underneath the card. We'll do the discs first, and I'll look through the other stuff and see what I could show you. There's your slipcase. There's the disc cover itself. Yeah, that's not too extreme. Inside, we've got a poster. Inside, we get the 4K and the Blu-ray. So you've got an upscale pass there if you want it. Poster, let's see if I can show you the poster. There's the Austrian poster. And there's this cover one. Basically, the story of this one is a psychopath is recently released from prison and basically goes on a rampage. It's loosely based on real-life mass murderer Werner Knesek. So you've got that. A lot of this is behind-the-scenes stuff, I love it. The movie is in color, by the way, because There's your serial killer. This one does seem to owe a little bit to Tommy Udo in Kiss of Death. So, yep, that 4K release is extreme horror this time around, as it should be in the spooky season. And Umbrella have really gone to town. They haven't kind of gone for soft options when it comes to their October releases this month. When else would you do October releases? This time around, they've gone hold my beer and really pulled out all the stops when it comes to the horror movies that they are releasing. And then they threw Japanese crime flick into the mix as well, which is fantastic. So thanks a lot to Umbrella Entertainment for sending these over. Really, I could just watch Hammer horror films for October and for Halloween if I wanted to, which is pretty much what I've been doing. But now I've got a whole bunch of really extreme stuff where I can challenge myself and just see how I feel about these ones. I think I'd be okay with them. I wouldn't watch them in a row, wouldn't binge them. Extreme horror films, you've just got to do them a little bit at a time. It's like having this 70% dark chocolate. You don't want to eat too much at once. You just want to savor a bit, go away, have something else, and then savor another bit. So again, thanks to Umbrella for sending these ones out. Next up, we've got Science Fiction Saturday, and I'll tell you ahead of time, I am doing Quatermass in the Pit as one of the two movies. And I know a lot of people have been waiting for that. So, thank you very much for watching. Let me know which of these movies you'd watch and which ones you wouldn't watch because you're a scaredy cat. And it's okay if you are. Not everybody is going to enjoy extreme horror or even horror movies. And I do get comments where people say horror movies aren't my thing, but they look interesting. So respect to people who don't like horror movies, but also respect to people who love them. You can also support the channel by subscribing, of course, giving this video a thumbs up, hitting the notification bell, leave a comment. You can also support the channel by donating through Patreon at patreon.com/TerrorDogsMovies, becoming a channel member, or even donating through YouTube itself. As I said, Science Fiction Saturday next. Looking forward to that one. So until then, watch some good movies, watch some bad movies. Maybe this time around for Halloween and spooky season, just push yourself to the limits once and see whether you like it. And I'll catch you next time.